Aloha YouTube, this is Khi Turner. Today I'm reviewing the battery life of the Z Fold 2. This is me post edit. I really want you guys to appreciate the work that I put into this video. I mean, I actually did some real research into this. As you can see from my recent bar, I'm doing putting these graphs together, going over analytics, looking at different flow charts. So please hit the subscribe button, like this video, because it took a lot of effort and time to make this video, and I really want to get some accurate information for the Fold 2 battery life. Thank you, and let's get into it. So there's a lot of factors that can affect the battery life, but one of the main ones is light mode versus dark mode. I don't know why I can speak English right there. So with dark mode, as you can see, most of the panel becomes dark. The settings become dark as well. And since it's an OLED panel, it's gonna obviously save a whole lot of battery life. That's why typically I keep my phone in dark mode, but I have it in the dark mode settings, as you can see, from sunset to sunrise. So it's based on the time of day where it switches to dark mode, but most of the day it's gonna be dark when I use the phone. I have the brightness always at about 50%. I never really adjust this because the adaptive brightness is really good. I mean, superb on Samsung devices. Literally, if it gets really bright, then it'll naturally get a little bit brighter, and if it gets a little dark, then it'll naturally get a little darker. So you don't really need to mess with that if you have adaptive brightness on. Screen mode, I put it on vivid, and screen timeout 2 minutes. Pretty much everything else is kind of negatable, but these are the typical settings that you would see are going to affect the battery life dramatically. These are the settings that I have, so you can calibrate yours to that if you plan on getting, or you want to see that. This is the most baseline battery test ever. I mean, everything's very average here. So typically I'm either editing or I'm watching Twitch or videos, so it drains battery life a little bit faster than the average person. So depending on how graphic intensive the thing you're doing is, like gaming, especially while streaming and things of that nature, obviously going to drain more battery life. So it all depends on that, of how much battery life you're going to need to use. For most things, I have my phone on charger, which actually over time destroys it a little bit more, but it's good to know that you can always, get more or less battery life just based on that. I wanted to give you some analytics so you know exactly how I use my phone. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it like some YouTubers. You see 6 hours on YouTube, a little bit of Fortnite, and this is yesterday. And screen time on a daily is 14 hours a day. So pretty much I use my phone as a computer and a phone, but I only unlock it 10 times. So I'm pretty much on it using it for different things most of the time, like editing videos and things of that nature. So you can see let's see the typical breakdown. Boom. And you can see how on average you use the different apps. This is the Chrome. Let's see YouTube. Okay, so typically on average I'm using it about the same. You can see right there 9 times and all of that, right? So if you use your phone typically for video watching and video editing, then you're gonna have approximately the same type of stats. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a little bit different, maybe it's a little edited here, a little bit there, but it's gonna be just about the same. Now what we all came here for, let's check out the battery stats. So you go to battery, and you can see how much battery I have remaining, and now the battery usage stats. Okay, so last 7 days, you can see, boom, bang, boom, and it shows you the screen on time as well as the other stats. You can see the rate of which it discharges, which is so 50% is right here. The discounting charge, so from it's about 2 hours to get to about 66%, which is on par with most phones. And actually you can see exactly how the battery is being used in these days. So via YouTube typically, and some gaming. Is another day. You can see the power difference. I'm gonna have the stats in the bottom so you can see it in the graph form, and it'll be nice and easy to actually register which one you want to see. Let's see another day. See, typically I'm charging my phone most of the time, so it's really hard to get like a good basis on it. But days like this are perfect because it went from 100% to a little bit below 50% in about, let's say, 2 to about 9. You see? Oh, that's cool. You can actually like tap and hold it. That's kind of cool. Okay. So yeah, from 2 to 9, it went from 100 to about 40%. So we can do the math on that and find exactly how much it typically loses on a normal day. This is using camera, chest, so this is just me going out, going to the store, going out and about. And even today, we can actually see that as well. It's declining at the same rate, as you can see. So, nice, easy, comparable graphs. I'm going to link all this in the description below so you can see it in a nice little Google document, and we can get the accurate percentage. I took the battery off at exactly 4:59, and it's so I wanted to do a real world test showing the battery life in like different scenarios when I'm like video recording and taking pictures, you know, doing emails, but not doing too much, and just seeing Norway for all the beauty that it has. So this is around 5 p.m. and as you can see, it looks kind of like it's like midnight because obviously here it's like mostly dark at this time of year, and in the summer it's like endless summer. Okay, after analyzing the data extensively, I've come up with a few different analysis, and here are my findings. So day one, we have a nice casual day where it's just like typical uses that a normal person would do when you're out and about. You know, you use your phone sometimes, and as you can see from the graph, it's actually it's about, let me get it over there. You get about 8.5% per hour, which means if in a typical day you would get like 10 or so hours of battery life, which is pretty much like a day and a half, you know, like a day and a little bit actually for most people. And that's the typical usage you're gonna get. Now, if you go a little bit more in terms of, say, gaming, you can see that you use a lot more battery life, 12% per hour. And the decline is steeper. See how it's a little steeper on the gaming? Because obviously your phone's using a little bit more power. So at 12%, you are gonna last, you know, a little bit less, maybe 7-8 hours. But you're gaming, so you probably would have your phone charging anyway, unless you're like gaming on the go. This was video streaming, and I did day 3, and as you can see, 9.6% per hour. So it's pretty on par with the between casual and gaming. And video playback. Now here's the big one. Like if you're watching Twitch videos or YouTube exclusively, normal settings for everything, you're gonna lose about 16% an hour. And that makes sense because obviously it takes the most amount of energy for your phone to like process images, you know, and video at a you know, steady rate. So that loses 16% per hour. And you can see that represented in the graph, and you know, you can get it like that. The main takeaway I want to get from this is that depends on what you're doing with your phone of how much you're going to get in terms of battery life. From the lowest being, it seems about 7% to the highest, which could be about 17% per hour in terms of usage. And it all varies based on like your battery settings and things of that nature. So I'll definitely do a follow-up video showing the different complexities with battery. Okay, one thing that I've noticed in the battery mode is my power settings were optimized. So this is definitely going to affect the battery life the most. If you put it in high performance, it's obviously going to lose a little bit of battery life, but it's going to have obviously better performance. If you put it in medium, then these are the things that happens. It limits the CPU speed, turns off 5G, and the brightness goes down. And for maximum power savings, it does all these things. So because I'm in optimized, it's pretty much the basis for what the phone I think ordinarily runs in. But if you wanted better performance, then you can obviously go to maximum. And if you wanted better battery savings, then you could go to maximum power savings. I don't know if I just mixed those up, but hey, we're gonna do it like that. And also these numbers are before I had adaptive power saving. Mine was off, so now I just turned it on. don't really need 5G most of the time, so I just turned that on.
Overall, my takeaway with the Fold 2's battery life is that it's really good depending on how you use your phone. If you use it typically in folded mode, it's going to get phenomenal battery life. If you have maximum power saving, phenomenal battery life. But if you're using your phone as a high performance machine, well, keep it on a charge.